And welcome to Your View with me, Nkgopotse JJ Tabane. Coming to you live from Linden here in Johannesburg. Of course, a big week ahead of us with the State Capture Commission getting into big gear. And of course, President Jacob Zuma, full of surprises. We're talking about the guy who's dodged the courts for 10 years. You can just imagine that he can't possibly just have gone to the state capture so voluntarily. So you can only wait to see and hear what he's going to say. But quite something to anticipate. A little later on, we'll be talking to a round table where we're going to be asking the question of what to anticipate or what to expect. Of course, we've seen what we expected the last week when Bruce Kolwane lied through his teeth. And, you know, a comment there, thought I was joking on the first day when I said this guy's a bloody liar. Then the following day, he changed his story, he changed his tune. And now there is a group of people under the Patriotic Front who are saying he must quit as ambassador of South Africa because with his conduct, he shouldn't be representing the country at all. So we'll talk about that a little later on. There's a petition out, which I will encourage you to sign, that says the guy must go quietly into the Nazamai. Ambassadoring. I heard the spokesperson of the international relations say, no, it's double jeopardy because it's already been. But he lied this past week. It's not double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is if you have found guilty and so on, and then another court sits to try and find you guilty again. This time the guy lied fresh from the box last Monday, until they played the tapes which showed him actually authorizing this lending. About ambassador, full ambassador. That country there, how will you know when he's telling the truth? Misrepresenting us there in the Netherlands. Terrible. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But today I wanted to talk about the tourism industry. You know, one of the big growth points of our economy has been the tourism industry. You remember, in about 1990-94, there were just under 1 million visitors to South Africa. To be precise, about 850,000 visitors. Fast forward to today, you've got over 11 to 12 million visitors. It's almost 10 times. And of course, the statistics say that for every 8 tourists that come, 1 job is created. The question is, who gains from this big growth? Unfortunately, not too many black people gain from that economy because it is still a foothold of white privilege. Forget about the fact that generally it's white people who may understand the value of holidays and what. That's neither here nor there. The issue is black people are not yet gaining in the tourism industry. And this is sad. But when you also look at the arrogance of the industry itself, it's actually staggering. If you look at big hotel groups and try and find a black CEO of the big hotel groups, you'll be like finding a needle in a haystack. It's bad. And I'm not talking about, you know, because people like to talk about parables. I'm not talking about parables. I'm talking about City Lodge Group, for example. Find a black CEO, a black MD who's running a hotel chain and what, you will look until you are blue. Sun International. Hey, Bawana, they've milked this country for everything. They've milked it for everything. If you look at that Sun City, they've milked it left, right, and center. Now they've opened another one here in Pretoria called mainly something where there are now all these big festivals and what, but they can't find a black person to run Sun International in these hotel groups. They can't find one black little person, one, to run the place. But they are not waking up to transformation. Find a black CEO or MD at Tsuhosan. Be surprised. Of course, I'm happy to be proved wrong, but the general trend is that these guys can even get somebody from overseas, a white person from overseas, to come and run the place. And then the people who have been there, who have grown through the ranks and so on, scrubbing the floors and running around here, who are doing actual hospitality, don't get to be promoted to be in this big organization. And we don't tell them. The tourism industry has gotten away with murder, man. Because we don't tell them. The trouble is, even where we can make a difference. Take, for example, government sets up something called the Tourism Grading Council. These guys tell you, if you have an establishment, they tell you are 3-star or 4-star or 5-star. In generating those stars, it's never occurred to them to say, if you are in a South African setup where we are trying to improve the economy, one of these stars must talk about change. One of these stars must talk about empowerment. Are you empowering communities? Are you empowering the youngsters who are coming through the tourism ranks? Are you empowering, up and coming stars who are supposed to be part of management? No. I'll be very surprised if any of those stars have to do with that. No, they don't care. They don't care about that. Don't come here and tell us that. This is about, hospitality standards and what. That's all it is about. They fail in taking something that can be used as leverage, something that can be used as a carrot or even a stick. They don't use that. They just give them 5 stars. You go there, it's a 5-star establishment. It's run by whites all around. Black people don't know what the hell is going on there. They're just being relegated to menial tasks. Marabat 5-star. That's the first failure of our government when it comes to enforcing change in the tourism industry. The second part, which really icks me badly, is the fact that only a tiny percent of the revenue of government or actual expenditure, right, goes to black establishments of tourism, of conferencing, of things of that nature. Try and tell a minister, go BNB, and they travel all over the place. But their first port of call is to stay in a 5-star place, man. It's not to stay in a B&B. You remember our people were sold their dad when the World Cup came here, and half of them took their pensions and converted their houses and homes into B&Bs, being fed a lie. That did not materialize. They are sitting with white elephants. Every second, B&B, and the government, but we're not going to stay in those places. The traffic of travel between Cape Town and Joburg with officials, ministers, MPs, is staggering. But only a fraction of that money goes to black people who have ventured into the tourism industry. These ministers want to stay in 5-star. For what reason, I don't know. For what reason, I don't know. A decent B&B, which is a 3-star thing, is a decent place you can sleep there, whether you're a minister, it doesn't matter. Aye, the Babata 5-star, man. Babata 5-star, who are Bukela 4-star, Utaitol. These are our leaders. They have become so big-headed, you can't believe it. Big. And whenever you are a new minister and so on, I want you to challenge you. Ask your DG, say to him, you are spending X amount on tourism, on travel. Who's our travel agent? It's company like a travel with fled. It's company like they have a tender in every corner of government. I'm talking about real empowerment of young and upcoming businesses owned by young people and black people who are trying to enter into the travel industry, and they are faced with repeat business to others who have been there forever. If you are that new minister, do you call your DG, say you are spending R1 million, of this R1 million you are spending on tourism and what? How much of that is going to black business? How much of that is going to black B&Bs, black travel agents, black transfer companies? Aye, utamakala, man. Utamakala, utamakala. If it can be more than 20%, it will be a miracle. Because the ministers will tell you there will be a big story about a ministerial home book. Hey, minister cannot stay in less than a 5-star. Matakal. Nonsense. Because why can't you stay in a 3 or even a 2-star hotel if you are a minister? It's not your money. You will stay in a 5-star hotel holiday with your own money. But if it's taxpayers' money, there's no reason to waste it like that. How can you write a senior below a senior's own black business? I will understand. No. They want to stay they want to be in top star-notch hotels and what have you. And in the meantime, the empowerment dream goes up in flames. But the culprit when I was Sun International, City Press, not City Press, City Lodge, Tsuhosan. No inkling. Because nobody is putting pressure on them. I'm challenging you, Minister of Tourism, you must wake up. Kubai, I know, Kubai is very active and so on. It's a young minister and so on. You must, and I was pleased that one of her first events was somewhere in Soweto, where she went to meet young people and entrepreneurs in the tourism industry. But that is token stuff. I want to see real stuff. You need to be able to tell me after a year that all of your travels, whether you are going to whatever corner of this country, you seek out black B&Bs that are owned by young black people and take that money of government and spend it on those establishments. The grading council must tell me what they are grading. Has their grading have anything to do with transformation? Or habakatali? Habakatali, boba 45-star, lelo rabachani. All over the show. It has got to stop. It's got to stop now.